Hi everybody, it's Bonkai 922. Got a muscle shirt on. Whatever. Before I get into this Binbougami episode 3 review, which was kind of serious, a little bit serious, you know. Before I get into that, I just want to briefly state one thing before I get into this video. Somebody want me to give them a shout out. The Final Gets a Ten Show. That's his YouTube name. Final Gets a Ten Show. Thanks, man. He went crazy. He subscribed to both my channels. He sent a bunch of comments, you know, and so on and so forth. Just to let everyone know, the versus video I did, that's all going to be calculated and everything else on Tuesday, and Wednesday I'll do a video explaining what I'm going to be doing with it. Okay, moving along. Binbougami. Yeah, this one was pretty interesting. It definitely was different from the last two episodes. I mean, this third episode really was called Being Ordered Around by Someone Makes Me Really Angry. Actually, the title was called Being Ordered Around by Someone. Being Ordered Around by You somehow makes me really angry. And it was funny, the title, it said, "What do you mean somehow?" And I actually say that phrase in the episode. So moving on along, what happens is we get, Sakura, Ichiko. She's in her house and she sees that Momoji's still there, and it's like not even, it's not even a question. And then we see Momoji's looking at her, and she tells her that, oh, this device that she has, which is basically this elephant. And the story behind this device is it prevents Sakura from sucking up anyone's fortune. Basically, that's the long and short of it. So that's pretty much what happens there. And basically what really happened in this episode was just the beginning was this bullshit thing, them fighting, and she kicks her out, and she's fine. Oh, a lot of zany. This show is so fucking zany, it's not even funny. But I want to mention two things in the beginning part of the episode. The one thing was with Momoji. When she was kicked out of her house, and she flew out, and she was on this air balloon, she had a cosplay on of Lupin the Third. Oh, God. But it gets worse. It got even worse because then Ichiko, she throws these, I think, kunai knives at her balloon, and it goes. And guess what she's dressed like? A Konoha village. A member of a Konoha ninja. Oh my God, that was insane. I was laughing my ass off. I was so fucking funny. Konoha. It was so weird too, because it's the same. It was the headband and everything. I was like, wow. That was so ridiculous. So moving right along. What ends up happening after that whole situation is she goes to school and everything. And, she's telling her, I think Momoji was telling her of the fact that, that she's, alone. She doesn't have any friends. And she's thinking about this and saying, oh, all the, because she had a conversation with Ichiko, saying, besides Sawano, the butler, you have nobody. You won't stick your neck out for a total stranger. That's pretty much what she was getting at. And then she was thinking about it, and she remembered the boys, the guys, were all infatuated with her, and the girls jealous of her, so she doesn't really know anybody. Has a friend. Then she notices this kid who's sleeping on the desk, on his desk. Never noticed him, like a total blip on the radar. And basically she notices he gets up and notices he's really good looking and everything. She's like, oh, maybe I'll get with him and, this stuff. And he wakes up and he's like talking in his sleep about chopsticks and shit. So obviously he must, what have you. Now, basically what we find out then is she then sees that he dropped something, which is his ID card. So she looks up his name, and I believe this character's name is, I don't know his full name, is Akata. And Akata, she decides to go find his house. And she goes there, and he's poor. Like. So he invites her in, and, she's getting to know that he's got like about what? 4 or 5 siblings. So pretty much this guy, he's poor. He's got to support all of his siblings in this kind of a situation. Now, the thing about it is, she doesn't know any of this. She doesn't have this kind of situation. She's like, and it was funny was, when she's eating the food, we see like go into her psyche of all the, different versions of her saying, "Oh, okay, let's vote on it. What should we do?" And then she replies, we reply to her, and she's thinking to herself while she's eating to him that, oh, it was a nice dream. And then they're continuing eating, and she just starts blurting out this shit about, oh, it's not about, she disagrees with him that, he said that as long as they have each other, they're happy. And she didn't buy that at all. She says, if you had more money, you would be a lot more happy. If you had better meals, you would be a whole lot more happy. And I think it's the oldest sister of his siblings. Oh, she gets really pissed off, and she's just like giving an angry look on her. And and then there's money that throws on the table, and then the oldest says, "Don't pick it up. Stay away from it." And he just takes the money and throws it at her. And then she's like, and then we see Momoji on the floor. He's like, "How can you look at your dad?" So on and so forth. And then she just takes the money and she leaves, and she's in the house like, "What's the fucking problem?" She leaves. She's like, "What's the fucking problem?" And before she left, he was saying that that's the way I feel. That this is the only way I can do it from his siblings. And Momoji then tells her, while she's dressed up as him, saying that you're totally oblivious to this. You're totally oblivious. And for some reason, this show feels like a Christmas Carol thing. You know what I mean? In other words, you have somebody who's so like rich and everything, and they don't understand the value of what it means to be poor. So in her case, she has so much fortune, she doesn't understand what it means for him to be like, So, and then she's, and then she leaves Momoji and everything, and she doesn't understand it. So she goes to a convenience store the next day, and she sees his Akata's younger brother, Ryu, I think his name is. And he's like getting picked on by his friends, Oh, and she walks in and he calls her. Instead of calling her Ichiko, he calls her Titi. I can't even say this. Tidioko, which is tits. With big fat tits. So what ends up happening is in order to like show her different side to him, she decides to buy him this card, this package of a card, and he gets like a really rare card, and he you know, even though she's mean and everything, Ryu feels, oh, you're very nice, and he calls her Chico again, and she just grabs it like, what did you say? Yeah, it's Chico, right? It was so ridiculous. So it ends up happening after that whole situation, and she leaves. He's outside in a parking lot, and he's looking at the car. It falls out of his hand and goes into the sewer, and then he opens the gate of this sewer and goes down. Like, and he starts walking, trying to find the car. He finally finds it. He goes back. Somebody puts the gate back on. And then we see a scene of Keto. He goes back. He goes home, and his oldest sibling tells him, the oldest sister, that Ryu's not back. Sorry. Not back home, and he just races, and he's racing, trying to find him and everything, and he still can't find him. And he's racing everywhere to try to find him. He can't find him. Eventually, he goes to Ichiko's house and asks her. Oh, and then she tells him, "Oh, is it because of that car? So and so forth. It's because of that." And he says, "Oh," and then he pays her back the money, his 300 yen, and then he explains to her that I don't want that. I want to provide for my siblings in that way. I have too much pride to think to be in someone's debt. That's what his way he's thinking of it. And then Momoji's looking at her, saying how, I thought you weren't going to, you're not going to help bystanders. You're not going to help people. You're not going to do that kind of thing. You're going to ignore it. And then she's like gritting her teeth, and she's thinking about Ryu in her situation. Because the truth of the matter is, and this is what I was thinking about when I was reading episode 1 and 2. Even though she has all this fortune, she has nobody to share it with. That's the gist of this story. That's the gist of Binbougami. As far as Sakura Ichiko is concerned. So then she gives her these rabbit ears and the elephant, so she can hear, and she hears his voice, Ryu's voice. So she then, before she leaves though, she kicks. It was like there was a serious scene and there was like a funny scene. She kicks fucking Momoji and her head goes through the window, and she's like saying, "Oh, even humans have this kind of side. There's hope for her yet." That's what she was basically saying. And then all of a sudden, Ryu's finally finds Akita. I think it's Akita. I can't say his name. Finally finds his brother, and is about to reach to grab him, and he's about to fall, and out of nowhere, here comes Sakura Ichiko. And Ichiko just jumps right in there to get him, and what she does is she uses her own fortune to save him. And then she's like, I'm not this boy. You give me fortune, save him, and so on and so forth. And then it's like magic even. A tree grabs her on her shirt and just flips her over the bridge area, and she saves him. And then Akita, he says, says, "You could have drowned, so and so forth." And it's like, yeah, but you could have too, and he could have. So I'm just, and they thank her and everything, and so on and so forth. And we could see that she is trying to be something more. Like, she's trying to be this gentle person now, trying to share her fortune and learn from this. And we see Momoji, she's behind her, and she's like, and even, well, I forgot to mention, when she kicked her, she said the line, "Being ordered around by you somehow makes me really angry." What do you mean, somehow? That's what Momoji says. So she starts an argument with Momoji, because Momoji wants to suck her fortune again. And she's like, "Get the fuck out of my face." And she just grabs her needle and breaks it, and they're having a big argument and everything. And that's pretty much where, yeah, that's where the episode ends, more or less. And we get a preview for the next episode, and basically, it's going to be with a dog. Something about with a dog. That's pretty much it. Thoughts? 4 out of 5. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Definitely, I like this one. This one was more serious. You know, this was a little bit more, depth. We got a little bit more into Sakura, Ichiko. We really now know that she is lonely. Really is. She's lonely. And now, by seeing this, she's going to grow to, like, different person. Sleepy. That's all I got for you guys. Like I said before, not to get off topic, next Wednesday, versus. I will tell everyone what versus will be coming on what channel. Which channel? Bonka Night for 2 or Evil Game Members. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. What did you guys think about this episode? Did you like the little seriousness that was in it? I thought this was interesting. I'm really enjoying this show. It's funny, zany as shit. A lot of parodies, which I'm digging right now. And a lot of parodies, a lot of zany shit going down. I love the fights between Ichiko and Momoji. Those are crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah. What'd you guys think? I think this is going to be a really good show. Sunrise did a really good job with this. No questions. No doubts in my mind. They did a wonderful job. I want to see more parodies. I'm going to say right now, this show is probably better than Naruto-san. That's saying a lot, because that was zany too. In fact, I don't want to say anything, but I think Sakura, the one who plays Ichiko, is the one who plays Naruto-san. But I'm not sure, though. We'll see on that. But anyway, this is Bonka 922. I will see you guys later.